Welcome back to Front of the Bench, everybody. As always, Eric, and today we have a PSA grading submission preview video. Gonna get to show you guys what I'm sending off to PSA, why I'm sending them off, and what I kind of think that we might get back for grades on some of these. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. I'm also going to be dropping, probably next video, maybe the video after, a brand new guide to grading hockey cards in 2023 with a couple Young Gun sets, stuff like that. Just give you guys a look at that. But we'll turn the camera around, won't waste any more time, and we'll get into the first one. So we have a bunch of cards here. There's 28 cards in total. Mostly are mine, but then I do have a couple. I think there's 6 for my buddy Trevor. So we'll see what we got here. First off, Justin Herbert, Optic rated rookie, red Mojo parallel. These are a little bit harder to find. This thing is pretty clean. I don't see any. There was no print lines. These do have print lines sometimes. The centering's pretty good. Maybe a little bottom heavy at the most, but the left to right's pretty good. The back centering's pretty good. The corners are good. Edges are pretty good on this thing. So overall, I'm hoping for a 10 for this one. Like I said, I don't think that top and bottom centering's off enough. I think it's a pretty clean card. I think the only thing is I think some of these have a little bit of print lines on the back with these Optic sets. I actually pre-graded this like a while back. it's a PC thing for me. I don't have a red Mojo in a PSA slab yet. So I just want to get that slabbed up. Next up, it's a Bowie clear cut. Ended up pulling this at my local hobby shop. Grabbed a single pack of this, and then boom, here comes the Bowie clear cut. Pretty clean. Little bit off for centering on the back, but the front centering is pretty bang on. Edges, surface is even on these. I guess surface on the clear cut cards. It's usually what you're looking at, but decided to take a shot. Young Gun mascot of Bowie. This next card is kind of a boomer bust. I think it's got a really good shot out of 10. As you can kind of see on the surface, there is nothing wrong at all on this thing. It is really clean from what I remember. Same thing, I pre-graded the start of this stack a couple weeks ago. But centering is pretty bang on, left to right and up, top to bottom. Back's a little bit off, but they're a little more lenient on the back centering. Corners are good once again. So I'm hoping to get another 10 on this. My thought process behind the Jack Hughes is he got super popular last year. The Devils stand to be a really good team again. And if you're a Jack Hughes collector, and a lot of these were super off center and everything else, if you're able to get a 10 for your PC, if you're a Jack Hughes fan or a Devils fan at a decent price, you probably grab that. So that's why I'm thinking of why I am grading that one. So next up, Tim Stützle. This one's pretty self-explanatory. This is the Young Guns canvas. Canvas cards for the Young Guns are usually easier to grade. You see a lot of a higher gem rate for PSA 10s for them. Yeah, you get Tim Stützle. I don't think the top edge has like a couple little tiny spots, but same thing overall, pretty good shape. Thought I'd take the chance at getting a 10 for that. Tim Stützle, one of the bigger hype guys right now, I think, going into a lot of stuff. Now he does play for Ottawa. Yes, it's a Canadian team, but doesn't have the same market as like the Leafs or Canadians or Oilers, I guess, with McDavid. But I still think Tim Stützle has a really good chance if the Senators pop off. Just an easy one. So next up, this one is actually one I cracked out of an HGA 9. This was actually not too bad in a lot of ways, other than I think it's this edge. One of the edges is a little rougher. So we'll have to see if that gets a 10. So I think it was you could tell more from the back. But another thing I don't have, I got a lot. I got bronze, pink, blue hyper, green velocity, the hollow, what else do I got over there? The orange out of 199, and I have this one out of 50, but I don't have the blue scope for some reason graded yet, so it's the same thing, another PC item for myself. So I decided to put that there. Next up, Sid the Kid. It's out of 99. I wouldn't grade this otherwise. It's actually like a gold parallel, which is kind of odd because it's not gold, it's black and white. The actual card is more of a gold color. Just weird. But it is the black or the gold parallel out of 99. Centering's good, corners are good, everything else. So decided I'd take a chance at a Sid out of 99. Is it going to be $1 million card? No, but this card otherwise wouldn't sell for a ton. If I get a 10 out of it, I live in East Coast Canada. He's Canadian. Everything else, you'd probably find somebody that was looking for a PSA 10 copy of a Sidney Crosby card that's numbered. So next up, trying to get on to that Montreal Canadiens hype train. Alex Newhook, no longer on my team, so I don't really need the Young Guns canvas. I got just regular Young Guns kicking around and stuff. So decided I was looking through my PC boxes, came across this. I said, well, I may as well grade it. Probably a difference if it comes back at 10, probably like a $20 profit over what a raw would have sold for. By the time I add the grading and stuff, I think I'd be into it for like $40, and I think I can sell it for like 60, 70. So worth the flip. Same thing, canvas cards grade really well, so you have a high chance of hitting a 10 on that. So decided I'd take a chance at that one. This one is just kind of a, you never know. Was a high pick in the queue back in the day. Has some potential with the Penguins. Who knows what they do? They kind of need some of these young guys to step up. Sammy Poulin might be one of those guys. So same thing, Young Guns canvas. Said it a couple times in here. They have a really high gem rate, so I decided to take the shot at grading that for the $27, $28 Canadian it's going to cost me to do it. So Samuel Poulin in the Young Guns canvas. Next up, if you guys watched any of my videos, you would have seen these next two cards in the last in a video 1 or 2 ago. But I opened a retail box of Series 2 from 2020-2021. And I was able to pull a Tim Stützle Young Guns. Pretty clean. The top edge was the only thing on this one. It was a little meh. I tried to clean it up a bit. All I used to clean up my edges and stuff is just a piece of tape. And you can kind of see, I don't know if you'll be able to see this. So you can kind of see the white on it. That's some of the flake and stuff that you get on the edges. That's all I use, but looked a lot better afterwards. So hoping for a 10 for that one. I think there's a really good chance at that. So 10 of Tim Stützle. You guys heard me talk about him already. Stuart Skinner, obviously a rookie last year. Went to the playoffs, everything else. Same thing, had a little bit of top edge wear, kind of same as that Stützle. But the centering is good, everything else. So I think there's a good chance of me getting a 10 on that. Yeah, so once again, hopefully getting a 10 on that. Seth Jones. Bedard, essentially, is the reason for this. I've had this card for quite a while, but I decided, you know what, I'm going to try to just grade it. Comes back at 10, great. But I just think him playing defense, on a power play with Connor Bedard and all the Connor Bedard hype. When you got a guy that's selling his MVP redemption cards are selling for over $1,000. Do not pay $1,000 for a Connor Bedard MVP redemption card, by the way. Bad idea. But that just shows you how much hype there is around him. So grabbing one of his teammates and kind of the best defenseman on that team probably kind of makes sense in my mind. Centering's not too bad. Everything else but the card is pretty clean. So I think there's a good chance at a 10. So once again, that's why I'm grading it. It's for the 10. And the auto on this is actually pretty good. There's a little streak there, but overall it's a pretty clean auto. Just big thing for autos, and if you're going to grade future watches, you kind of want to find one that's got a nice bold auto. If you get the streaky ones, that just is going to hurt the resale value so much. So Seth Jones in the future watch auto from 2012-2013. This is a card I actually picked up from one of my local hobby shops. Champ Sports Cards. I've said it before. He's in Riverview, New Brunswick. If you guys are around, he's open till the end of the month, and then they're unfortunately closing. But go check them out. Some great guys. I'll put the address below or underneath. I'll put it underneath me. You guys can see that there. But this is Brent Burns. There is like no Brent Burns cards graded with PSA. It is crazy. And because of that, which is once again just the pop count on this stuff is so low. Even a 9 for this sells for just a lot of money. 10 sell for even crazier, but even a 9 sells for a good amount. I'm thinking I'm going to get a 9 on this. I'm hoping that's what I'm going to go for. It's got a little bit of a white corner here. Centering's pretty good. Everything like that's pretty good. In the back, same thing. There's a couple little white there, but the rest of the corners are pretty decent. That edge is kind of just is what it is. But I think there's a good chance that I get a 9 on that. I don't know if I don't think I'm going to get a 10. I think it's not. I think that corner down there by itself is kind of going to get a 9. But hoping for a 9. If I got a 10, I'd be doing backflips over here, but I think a 9 would be pretty sweet in that. Once again, just a cool card to pick up. I think I got this for $60 Canadian, I think, raw, but I can't remember exactly what I paid for it. But yeah. Marco Rossi, Kirill Kaprizov, Matt Boldy, everything else. It's actually one of the only young guns I've had from the last couple of years. I was looking through all my stuff. I have boxes and just so many young guns kicking around this place from the last year and 2 years sets. And I've obviously sent a lot off for grading, but this is, I think, the only one I still had kicking around that I thought had potential out of 10. So Marco Rossi, decided to give him a shot. I'm pretty sure he tore his ACL or something. He's coming back from injury. But Marco Rossi, try to get him a 10 and see if we can go from there. Picked this up today when I'm recording. It's an Arbor Jacki Young Guns Canvas Black. Now, I've tried to stay away from a lot of defensemen. I guess I'm saying that. Meanwhile, I have a Brent Burns in there. I think he's kind of one of those exceptions. But it's just a black Young Guns canvas of, Wi-Fi, essentially. Super popular player for the Montreal Canadiens. Everything else, I think it has a good chance. This top corner is the only thing that kind of but it's not too bad. But yeah, that's kind of the only thing. Otherwise, it's a decently clean copy of, just a Montreal Canadian. If it wasn't for being a Canadian player, like a Montreal Canadian player, I don't think I'd grade it. But once again, because it is, decided I'd take a chance. Next up, this is, once again, pretty clean. Ilya Kovalchuk picked this up today, once again from Champ Sports Cards in Rearview. He had this in a showcase, and I picked it up for a decent price. Raw, obviously, but it's just pretty clean. I don't know. It's just, I think it has a good shot at 10. Same thing, low pop. I think there's 120 of these graded by PSA in total. 20 or 40 PSA 10s or something like that. It's the pop count's not very high. There's nothing listed for these raw, graded, anything. If you just put up Ilya Kovalchuk in eBay, there is absolutely nothing. So yeah, once again, I think it has a good shot at a 10. A 10, like I said, I think is 250 American. So 2 something American, maybe more than that. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think it has a good shot at a 10, even a 9. It would be what it is. It is at this point over a 20-year-old card. This is a 2001, 2002. So super old design now, super old card, but if I could pull a 10 out of it, it'd be awesome. Next up, Anton Lundell, same thing. Super clean auto from Lundell there. Top to bottom centering is the only thing that kind of worries me here, but I think hoping I can get away with it. Yeah, other than that, it's a newer set, pretty clean. Side to side centering is actually pretty good on this. So it's just the top to bottom. So I'm hoping I can pull a 10 out of it. Hopefully they're a little lenient with that. Lindell, just not that he had the craziest thing. He's just still a young guy for a team that's going to be good. Maybe he takes a bigger role. That being said, it's essentially whenever it gets back from grading. I'm not holding this for a long time. I am selling this the moment it gets back from grading because he plays in Florida. It is what it is. Barkov, I don't have it here. I picked up a Barkov rookie patch auto, not a future watch, but still for like $40 today. So I'm not going to hold my breath. And Barkov's an amazing player. I'm not going to hold my breath about Lundell being crazy good long term. He might be amazing, but it's just the place he plays. The market's not going to be crazy for him. Zegras, you might say, Eric, why are you sending this? If anybody's opened Platinum this year, they know that centering is a crazy issue, and it's terrible. Centering on this one's pretty good. Front, back, pretty clean. Top to bottom, everything. So I decided to send one. May as well. See what if I can hit a 10 on it. Back centering's off a little bit, but once again, they're a little more lenient on the back centering. So I decided to take a chance. It's a Zegras. People like Zegras. See if I can get a 10 out of it. I would grade if I had any of the parallels of him that had decent centering. I would grade them. That's not the way it works in Platinum this year. And corners and stuff like that are just rough on a lot of this stuff. This is another one I'm decided to take a chance at. You saw it earlier with the Jack Hughes, but same thing, decided to try it with this Braden Point. Just a clean card, Easter egg card. Way more off center on the back than the other one, but same thing. They allow like a 75-25 on the back for centering. Front's better than that. So decided to give it a chance. Just, you never know. I think he's super underrated in the hobby. Played super well in the 2 Stanley Cups that they won the whole way through the playoffs, everything else. But, once again, it's hard to be the guy, and I think I said it when I pulled this card or when I pulled other cards of him. You look at it, it's Vasilevsky, Hedman, Stamkos, Kucherov, him. It's the same as like Sergachev, right? Sergachev's not really going to get a ton of hobby love because there's so many people there. So next up, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you would have saw this card pulled live on Instagram, or not on live, but it was, I posted the video, did a little bit of ripping with my buddy Trevor. He opened this, and it's a silver Prizm of Shadon Sharp for the Trailblazers. Centering's a little bit off, left to right. I think there's a dimple here. Anyways, so I would take a chance at it. He was willing to do it. It's his first go around at grading. I kind of sat him down. I showed him kind of what to look for. We got the centering tool out, everything else. Think it has a good shot at a 10. Will I be surprised if it doesn't 10? No, that's just cards in 2023. But we decided to take a shot at the Shadon Sharp. Next up, Jamar Chase. This thing's really clean. I think it's got a 10 all day long. Popular team, popular quarterback. He's the main receiver. The list goes on, but pink camo of Jamar Chase. Next up, T-Law, another big popular quarterback. There's a couple, I think there's a dimple somewhere. There's a dimple in his, you see right there in his flag, in his towel. So there's one dimple there. I think that was the only one. But otherwise, it's a pretty clean copy of a T-Law. Same thing, just he thought he'd try it, take his chance. He had a lot of other cards to look at to grade. We looked at a lot of stuff, but once again, 2023 in the last couple of years, it's just hard to grade anything. It's just a lot of the stuff comes out of the packs. Being off center or having corner issues or edge issues or surface issues, whatever it might be. Adrian Kempe, Young Guns Canvas. I think he's had this for a little bit. He picked it up, but decided to give that a shot. Same thing, Canvas, Young Guns. You'll hear me say it a lot in grading, but just good chance of that hitting a 10. He's a Patriots fan, boo. But here we go. We got a Mac Jones. Same thing. Try his luck at it. I think there's the same thing. I think there's one dimple somewheres. This I thought was an issue, like a surface issue or something. They actually all have it. They all have the same little dot here, kind of like parallel to his elbow and stuff. But yeah, they all have it. So it looks like it's a surface issue, but it's not. But same thing. See if we can get a 10 out of it. It is what it is. Herbie, this is his second to last card. Prizm Black. Herbert, my guy. Once again, just a pretty clean copy. I think overall it's not too bad. So this edge was the only thing, but I think it's the same thing. It had to bring enough upside that if it gems, great. If it doesn't, once again, we've wasted $25, $30 on worse things. He was also able to pull this at one point. Silver Prizm of Scotty Barnes. So we're Canadian, and Scotty B is big fans of him. Centering's not terrible on the back, even though I said once again they're pretty lenient on the back of it. Corners are pretty good. Edges are pretty good. There we go. So pretty clean copy of Scotty Barnes. There's some of this is just fuzz, but I think there's a dimple right here. I think there's one here. There's like two dimples in it. Same thing. See if we can, where the rest of it's so clean. And the centering is actually not terrible. There's the other dimple. Dimple's there. That's where it is. So decided to try our luck at getting a 10. And he said it only got two dimples in it. Yeah, it's gonna try it. Big upside if it hits. Next up, heard me talking about it earlier. Connor Bedard, big guy, big player, lots of hype around him. Everything else. Taylor Hall now on the team with him. So Taylor Hall is going to be feeding him / getting fed from him a whole lot. Pick this up once again from Champs Sports Cards today. The auto is pretty clean. Centering's off. I didn't really notice when I was picking up. I was just picking it up anyways, but centering's a little bit off. It should be farther over this way. It is what it is. I think it's probably a 9. If it was a 10, I'd be very surprised. You get a little chip up there. And then same thing, this corner up here. The edges, it's a same thing. We're looking at a 2010 card. So I'm hoping for just a 9. I think getting that in a slab, it's even in a 9, a slabbed up 9 of this. If he does pop off, it's worth it. I got it for a decent price. So essentially, I think what I can sell it for, even if I get a 9, I think I can break even with the price that I end up getting it for. So once again, clean auto, that's the other big thing. I'll say it all the time when it comes to stuff. Clean autos. Look for those. Next up, this was actually a tag submission that I didn't do. I bought 3 tag slabs. I cracked 2 of them. They were both 7.5s. This one's actually is one of them. It's the top to bottom centering's the biggest thing. So I think this is going to get a 9. Same thing. I just want this in a 9 rather than selling it raw. I just think sometimes with certain players, there's a value to getting them even in a 9. I think Tim Stutzel, if he plays well, having him a slab 9 and as a 9, I think that's just something I'd rather have than trying to sell it raw. But yeah, so it's just pretty clean. Otherwise, top edge, it's pretty good. See if we can pull a 9 out of that. I think we can, though. Like I said, I think the top to bottom centering is the only thing. Left to right's pretty good. It's just a little heavy on the top. You can kind of see the G's a little too close to the bottom, and this is a little too close to the top. So you're kind of trying to match up the distance from the top of the shield, and saying that it should be the same distance apart. So, and last but not least, I'm gonna try. I bought this as an 8, just cracked it. I'm gonna try to resubmit it. It's a Johnny T. Maybe get a 9. It's not gonna get a 10 for sure. That corner up there kind of guarantees that. But the rest of the centering is pretty good. Same thing. Another this corner here. So it's the same corner, front and back. It's just a little rougher. But other than that, it's not a terrible copy. Should it be an 8? Probably not. But I decided, I'll crack it. Got it for a good price online. Crack it. Try to send it back as a 9. Try to get a 9 out of it. If I do, then I make a couple bucks off it. So, yeah. That's my grading submission. That's what I think I can get out of it. Why I think I'm grading them. You get a little bit of football, some hockey, some basketball when it comes to Trevor. So a little bit of everything. Let me know what you guys think about what I'm sending off. I'm sure I'll get some hate on that Zegras. That's fine. I've got hate for worse things in the world. But yeah, like I said, let me know what you guys think. I am gonna do a guide to grading essentially for hockey cards. Show you a couple different things. That should be in the next video or two. So make sure you like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. The link is down below also. And for Eric from the bench, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye guys.